Hi guys, Tattoo Teachers here. Open house. That's our topic for today.
Yeah, well.
Open house is fun. Quit grimacing.
I
We'll
hate
see you
the
in a
open
minute.
house. We'll be right back.
Hi guys, Tattoo Teachers here. With some tips and things about open house that maybe you need to know as parents, maybe you need to know as teachers. Open house is an exciting time for us because it's the beginning of this school year. Everybody's excited, and
Everybody?
yeah, everybody's excited. I know it's a long day for teachers, and teachers are just kind of but it's exciting time for the students and the parents. And
I've noticed we left out a couple of groups there that maybe not as excited. Custodians are not terribly excited because somebody in the big corner office has said this school better look like you can eat off the floors.
That's true, but it does make you feel good when you walk in and you see that shiny sparkly building.
And then the person who said that has got their fingers crossed and waving burned sage around, hoping all the evil spirits away, hoping that open house goes well and they don't get cornered by the talker. My God.
Okay, well, I can see you have lots of tips for open house. So, who do you want to start with our tips? For parents or for teachers? What do you want to
Neither.
start with? Okay.
Let's start first with the administrator because
okay.
Mr. and or Ms. Administrator, you're the one that sets the tone for open house. And it's important for you to establish to your teachers and especially to your parents that this is open house. This isn't parent-teacher conference night.
And there's no way you can have a parent-teacher conference at open house. It's rude to the other parents because they're waiting in line to see you or whatever. But that's not the purpose of open house.
For those of you that have never been to an open house, you may have just gotten lost in our jargon. What we mean by this is there are examples, and we've both lived through them, where sometimes the school creates an atmosphere where open house turns into a one-on-one counseling session or conference session between a teacher and a parent or teachers and parents, and that is not the purpose of open house. And what I mean by that is it's fine to come in and ask some questions, and it's all the obligatory, where mom is like, well, how's he doing? And the teacher feels obligated because there are 20 other parents sitting around and say, oh, he's great, he's such an angel, he just makes it worth it for me to come to work every day. Come on now. That's not what open house is about. It's not about getting into the grades, and I noticed he made a 67 on this particular test and whatever.
Right.
You are there, parents, to meet the teacher.
It's a meet and greet.
Or
that's
teachers.
All it is.
That's all it is.
Meet and greet.
It's an opportunity to put a
Name
face.
for face.
Exactly.
Right.
And to get around, see the school, kind of take it all in. And my recommendation, administrator, is that you get a note out to your parents, email, a remind notice, whatever you have to do to say, this is just a meet and greet. This is for you to meet your teachers. Establish a schedule early.
For instance, some schools go, by their student schedules. They ring a bell every 15 minutes or so, and they go from first to 7th or however many periods you have, how many class sessions you have. And it is an adjustment at first if you've never done that, but in my opinion, and I've seen it all different kinds of ways in my 33 and a half years, but in my opinion, that's the best way to do it. The teacher can put on a little PowerPoint for that 15 minutes that you're in the class. It does cause a hardship for parents who have more than one child at that school. And mainly I'm talking about high school when I talk about changing class schedules. I understand elementary school is different than that, and they may only have one or two teachers. So I know that that's different.
But a middle school's going to have.
But a middle and a
multiple
high
class
school
changes.
is going to have class changes,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, for middle and high school, that's the best way to do it. My advice to parents, if the open house is done that way, where you go by the student schedule, most of the time there's a group of people right at the front, right by the door, that will hand you that child's class schedule. So the child may be at soccer practice or something and may not be able to come, but you can still follow the child's schedule based on, somebody handing you a copy of their schedule. And for those of you who do have more than one, you might need to bring a grandma or mom, dad, cousin, whatever, to go to that other child's schedule. You just have to pick and choose in that situation.
If you're in a small community where there's a possibility you already know the teachers and you've been in communication with the teachers, you may not feel the need to have to go around and see every teacher.
Right.
That's up to you. But Rebecca's right. Bring someone that can at least be a face in there and hear,
listen.
right, and maybe jot down some questions for you to pose later. And it reminds me of an idea you had these many years ago about
He
teachers.
contributes me with all the good ideas, and they're usually not mine. But go ahead, I'll take it. What was my great idea?
Here was your great idea for parents who do not have time during the open house, but still need an opportunity to visit with their teachers. What do they need to do?
Yes. Well, I mean, at the school that I ended at, we just had a little form that you could go up and request a conference, and the person who was sending out the schedules, which was usually me and a group of people that helped me. You could just go up and we would tell you when that teacher's planning period was, or we could put a note in that teacher's box and have them call you if it just needed to be a phone time conference. We could give you that teacher's email address. But we could arrange a way for you to meet with the teacher if you needed to do that after you listened to what that teacher had to say. But open house night is not the night to meet with your child's teacher one-on-one to try to get specific information about your child.
And
that was my idea.
I know, and I remember that. This is also a great idea. Holy cow! This is also a great time for your librarian to have the library open, so parents can come in and perhaps discuss ideas about contributing to the library. If you have a reading club, literacy club, whatever you want to call it, to ask some questions about what students need to do to be involved in that. We certainly want to encourage reading without it being punitive, like some reading programs are. So librarian, go to your administrator, try to work out a deal so you can get some time in between classes for your parents to stop by, or address the parents as a group. Maybe before the open house begins.
I know at the school that I ended at, the librarian came up with this idea, so I'm not going to take credit for that. Miss Taylor, you're wonderful.
Woo-hoo.
But I mean, she had parents come in and sign the technology release form so that we could publish pictures and things like that during open house. And that was a good way to get in her stuff that she had to have signed. Because she was in charge of our technology, so that may be different at each school, but things like that can happen.
And that's a really good idea. And there may be some courses that your kids are involved in that you may not necessarily need to go to visit that specific teacher. We always had this headache where we would have some teachers that wouldn't be available for whatever reason, for personal issues, or it's just hard to schedule. And parents, please try to be understanding when the beginning of the year is going on. It is so hard to find a date where everybody can be in.
That is rough. That's
and also, please be cognizant, and this is for everybody involved, all stakeholders, that by the time you schedule an open house in the afternoon or evening for everyone to attend, a lot of folks have been at work all day. And teachers, I know you've been on your feet since 7:30.
That's right.
And parents, a lot of you have too.
Right.
And I know that principal has, and those custodians. So let's value each other's time.
Exactly. Perfect way to put it. Let's value each other's
There's
time.
that back if you want to pat it. Thank you. Just remember that the next day typically is a work day, and everyone involved has to get up and do it again. So just let's value each other's time, and you know, if you have a question that's just burning, if you haven't already signed up for a conference with the individual teacher, at least get their email if it's something that can be handled that way. I'm a firm believer that anything that can be handled in writing digitally needs to be handled in writing. It doesn't necessarily require a sit down face to face to do that. Saves a lot of time, and there's a good possibility that another parent has the same question that you do. So anyhow, open house, enjoy it. Principal, if you haven't already scheduled that, I know people see these videos at various times,
right,
and we want to apologize. We've had a little gap in there. We were on the road.
We've been having fun. That's why we had a little gap in there.
We've been having a lot of fun, and we've been on the road and traveled from one end of this country to the other recently, and just got in some cooler temperatures, and really hated to leave that. And so,
I said let's take our video camera in case we want to video something,
yeah,
and we decided not to.
Yeah,
And good thing we didn't, because we were having so much fun we would not have done it probably.
Yeah, and we had to get, but we had. Hurricane came in, and so thankfully we got back just in time for all that rain. But anyhow, sunshiny now. But anyhow,
in our area, I know our hearts still go out to the people of the Houston area.
Principals, in case, depending on when you see this, my recommendation as an administrator is you have your open house just as quickly
soon
after the first day of school as you can, and here's why.
I actually think some of the schools in our area have already had theirs, and it's only, what is today?
They have, and that's unusual, because we had a tradition around here where they would schedule them after the first report card. No, don't do that, please, for the love of Horace, man. Please do not schedule that thing after the first report card, because you will never get home. You might as well set up cots in the halls, but early, just as quickly as you can, please. Hey, that's it. Sorry for the delay. We're going to get this one out to you, and as always, we appreciate you watching. Please share this. We feel like we've got some information here that you can use. If you have children, if you know children, if you've ever been our children, we think we can help. And so please subscribe, please share, please discuss this at work, around the water dispenser, whatever they do now. Coffee pot.
Keurig.
Time for coffee. See you next time.
Bye.